ಹಲೋ ಅಜ್ಜಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡು.
ಓಕೆ, ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿವನ್. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಹೌ ಗುಡ್? ಹೌ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್? ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಎನಿವನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್? So many. From outside Karnataka? Anyone? Only one. Okay, good. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆದವರು? Good. So, welcome to InsightsIAS and welcome to UPSC preparation, the actual UPSC preparation, right? So, from today onwards, we are going to experience what it actually means to prepare for UPSC examination and what is the actual depth of it, right? So, whatever you have done so far, majority of you might have only scratched on the surface, just the surface level preparation. And I have seen through, numerous counseling sessions, majority, again I use the word majority, haven't done anything at all, even though cracking UPSC examination has been their childhood dream, right? And I keep telling people that, it is not your fault, it is mainly because of the fault in the educational system, right? So now, how many of you have seen the UPSC notification? Come. Okay. How many of you read the UPSC notification? Okay. So how many of you remember few lines from the UPSC notification? Any lines? Any details? Because in another few days, those who cleared UPSC preliminary examination, they are going to write mains examination. And they have been through the prelims phase. They have cracked it. And before every preliminary examination, there is a notification, right? And the notification is pretty detailed document. And I believe the notification is a very fundamental document that every UPSC aspirant. So even if you haven't read newspapers so far, at least you should have read the notification at least, right? Now when you read the notification, you see series of keywords in the notification. So those keywords are our guiding light. Those keywords actually tell you who you should be, who you should become, who you should transform into, and what is the clear-cut expectation from the UPSC, right? So now, those who raised your hands, when I asked the question, can you name few words that you have come across in the notification that are relevant to your preparation? Not the numbers. So there are 26 odd services, 26 odd optional subject, right? 34 main centers, 86 prelim centers, not the numbers, 9 attempts, 6 attempts, but keywords. Can you name any keywords? Or you can take a guess also. No? Yes? Syllabus. Okay, good. Then? First apply. Okay. Depth of? Very good. Depth of understanding. Excellent. Then? No, that is not there in the notification. Yes? But there is an indirect word which gives the similar meaning of consistency. I will tell what it is. Yes? Matriculation level. Okay. Then? General knowledge. It is interesting that the entire notification you don't see the combined phrase, the word general knowledge anywhere in the notification. General studies is there, then general awareness, very good. General awareness is there, and then there are words like general interest, right? Intelligent interest in what is happening around you, strong general awareness. Critical powers of assimilation, this is there in the notification. Critical powers of assimilation, clear and logical exposition, right? Intellectual integrity, right? So intellectual integrity is what you said, consistency. consistency in your thoughts and ideas, right? And then interest in depth and variety of issues, right? Depth and variety of issues. Then any other keywords that we can recall? Now what surprises me or what shocks me in this UPSC preparation is that most of you want to become IAS, IPS, Indian Forest Service. You trying to become IAS doesn't shock me or surprise me. That's a very lofty goal, ambitious goal, and really a noble goal. And I totally appreciate it. But despite having that goal, most of you either till now didn't have the clarity about how to go about the preparation, right? You lacked the clarity. And some people, even now, after listening to 2 hours of the orientation, right? After getting the clarity, they don't put that clarity into action, right? Practicing what you learn. So this has been my consistent observation. Now, number one, the UPSC notification very clearly says that this examination is not about any specialized subject, right? Any educated person who has got an intelligent interest in current issues. There is also modern currents of thought. There is this word, the phrase modern currents of thought. Anybody who has a really keen, deeper interest in modern currents of thought and what is happening around you, right? Now, what is the difference between general awareness and general knowledge? So, you mentioned general knowledge, right? So, we see that the capital city of Germany is what? You know it, right? Say it. Berlin, okay. Capital city of Paris? Good. So, Paris is the capital city of? Okay. Capital city of Croatia? Capital city of Iraq? This is general knowledge, right? General knowledge is mostly a factual information, right? Maybe a concept, random information that you would like to know. But what is general awareness? General awareness goes many steps further, where you have developed a keener interest without anyone imposing on you, right? Without anyone forcing that. You have developed this keen interest to learn everything about what is happening around you, right? When we say happening around you, happening in your surrounding, happening within the state, outside the state, within the country, outside the country. As we said, depth and variety of issues. Variety of issues, diverse issues. Now, have you developed that keener interest beyond your, let's say, computer science BE, BCom, BSc, right? And whatever graduation that you are pursuing till now, were you able to spend at least 1 or 2 hours extra to develop this general awareness about what is happening around you? So when you say general awareness, it includes general knowledge, right? It includes a wisdom, it includes perfect conceptual clarity. When you want to know something happening around you, it doesn't randomly happen, right? So there may be a physics behind it, there may be a chemistry behind it, there may be a philosophy behind it, there may be a psychology behind it, right? So in your room, if somebody is like yelling for no reason, right, getting irritated for no reason, maybe a psychology behind it, maybe a sociology behind it, we don't know, right? So they have been through certain experiences, they may be under certain unfavorable social circumstances, we don't know. So now this general awareness, and earlier I said critical powers of assimilation. So the critical power of assimilation means you understand and you learn and you get to know about something without taking that information as it is. So you question the veracity, you question the validity of that particular issue, right? So you don't take it for granted. On the face value, you don't accept it. So that is it, being critical about something. So now, unfortunately, when you come for the UPSC preparation, most of you haven't spent time developing these qualities. Again, I blame the education system, not you people, because 10th comes, then what happens? What? No, 10th ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? When you SSLC 10th ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, what is the one and only goal? Percentage ಎಷ್ಟು? Above 90. I mean, that is how everyone is conditioned, everyone's mind is fixated. That 10th means my son, my daughter must get 90 and above so that they get into the best PU college in the town, best PU college in a city or wherever it is. So that is the number one goal, getting the highest percentage possible. So now that is transmitted, to your minds. And that is what you want to do. You want to score high marks in the 10th standard, right? So now what happens? Everything else takes backseat. Now social science, maths, science, Sanskrit, Hindi, Kannada also, right? Kannada, English. So they are secondary again. They have this stepmotherly treatment. The first is science, social science and maths. So you want to score perfect 100. So now what you do, you totally immerse yourself in memorizing the notes given to you, right? Maybe solving the questions, the model answers, whatever they have given, repeating what you have actually memorized, maybe to some extent what you have understood. So then the same 11th and 12th, no extracurriculars. So if I ask you in 10th standard, okay, so there is a book, latest book by, let us say, Yuval Noah Harari, right? He has written books like Sapiens, Homo Deus, 21. Have you read anyone here? Okay, now I ask, okay, read this book. Now you don't want to read that book because that is wastage of time, right? You feel that you are going to waste time. Time has nothing to do with you, but you feel like you are going to waste time because you have to focus on the. So now 11th and 12th, the similar attitude, and then comes the graduation. So those who are lucky get good rank, get into, let's say, IITs, NITs, RV College, MS Ramaya, BMC, AIMS, right? And then those who don't get medical, NEET, one more year, long term, and again if you don't get, then BDS, BAMS, BNYS, and then BSc Agriculture, whatever it is. And many people have genuine interest in BSc Agriculture also. That's all perfectly fine. Now the point is, if we had thought about becoming an IAS officer in the school days, college days, now during the graduation, you should have done something about it, right? Now everyone sitting here knows that everyone actually were told when the dream was put in your head, read newspaper every day. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ ತಾನೆ. At least you would have seen the toppers videos ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ದು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಸೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ you would have seen that reading newspaper is must. But even then during the graduation what happens? That you don't get time to read newspapers, right? Or even if you get time, it is again maybe wastage of time. I'm not sure about it. Now why I'm talking about this, right? Because this has been my consistent observation. If 100 people have walked in and out of my cabin, hardly 1 or 2 people would say that I've been reading newspaper for at least 1 or 2 years. Now that is a systemic, fault that we have in our system, in our education system or social system, what we say, that the very culture of newspaper reading is dead. Now all these critical powers of assimilation, general awareness, general interest, intelligent interest, right, variety and depth of interest, right, these things are there in the UPSC notification, And that is the precise expectation from you people. This examination is both very easy and very difficult at the same time when you understand what this exam actually demands from you. Right? It actually demands from you not reading any thick books, all those technical tough books. It actually demands you to be more curious, right? Develop keener interest in whatever, like for example, let us say you are a BA political science student, but you must have keener, deeper interest in knowing what is happening in the artificial intelligence, AI, right? Maybe one step further like quantum computing. Maybe like you would like to know about the space technologies. What are the latest technological advancements that we saw that, current thoughts, advanced thinking, advanced developments that are happening in a sector that is irrelevant to your academics, right? That is not related, not irrelevant, that is not related to your academics. So the moment you start developing that keener interest in as many, as diverse as topics, you are on the correct, perfect path of cracking the UPSC examination. So now that is the beginning, right? We should not force you, we should not tell you again and again, you read this, you read that. Indian art and culture, so the temple architecture for example, it should not be read as part of the syllabus. It should never be read as part of the syllabus. It should be read, it should be understood, it should be learned as part of a clear appreciation of our own culture, right? It should be clear appreciation, it should be deeper appreciation for our culture. And the same appreciation should be there for our history, our geography, right, our polity. When it comes to polity, when it comes to economy, right? So there is another line in the notification that you should have a clear-cut viewpoint, your own opinion about a conflicting demands, conflicting objectives, conflicting goals, conflicting socio-economic objectives. This is there in the notification. You should have a clear-cut viewpoint or opinion on conflicting socio-economic goals, objectives and demands. Demands come from whom? So by the people. So you want Bangalore to be free of traffic congestion, right? You want Bangalore to have a perfect solid waste management system, right? So if you are in Delhi, you want Delhi to have clean air, right? So you demand from whom? People, right? So now I am an administrator, now I have to prioritize first congestion or solid waste management, right? So if it is congestion, road widening or creating tunnels, underground network within the city. You getting my point? So there can be conflicting demands, there can be conflicting goals. First to eliminate poverty, should we give more employment or should we give more freebies? What? More employment, right? Are we doing that? Huh? Illa. No, you should have a clear-cut viewpoint of your own opinion. You are getting my point? So these are not any rocket science, right? These are the very issues that you come across every day in newspapers. You keep hearing about it. Now what you need to do is that you need to develop a certain intellectual trait. Now you have to give academic touch to the issues that happen around you. So every issue has a background, every issue has conceptual, many concepts associated with it, right? And then the same issue has ideas and the same issue has facts, right? When an issue happens, it has facts, it has ideas associated with it, right? And then it has certain historical background and then it has concepts associated with it. So when you read newspaper, right, you should not merely read newspaper, got it? So you have to go deeper into the issue and based on your curiosity, without waiting for something to happen in the class, without waiting for something to get completed in the class, you should let your curiosity lead, right? Your own searching for, what you want to learn. So it may be concept. You don't understand a concept, you open and read about it. You may not understand, at least you try. Learn a little background about it. So those who do this on a consistent basis, on a daily basis, right, they are always one step ahead, because you not only understand, you will also know how to apply it. Eventually you will develop it. So you will get the courage to write answers. You will get the courage to write essays. Now when we ask about, like write answer, start writing answer, start writing the essay, one common excuse is that I lack content. Right? I don't know what to write about essay. So at Insights, what do? We encourage you to write essay from the very first week. Right? We encourage you to write answers from the very first day. So this is a very professional ritual at InsightsIAS. So we not only encourage, we actually force you, we make you do, we actually, right? We force you. If you are in my cabin, if you come empty-handed, I'll ask you next Monday or next Tuesday, you bring an essay, right? I will tell you, you write an essay and bring it to me. So the common excuse is what? I lack content. So now write essay where you know about it, where you have content, right? All of you have some content about something, right? Am I right or wrong? Right. Now how many words you should write? In how many words you should write an essay in UPSC? That is for marks. 250 is the marks. Huh? How many words? 1000? Not 1500. 1200. How many essays? So you should write 2 essays, 1100 words each. 1100 words is the maximum limit, right? So we usually recommend 100 words or 150 words, less than the maximum, but you should never exceed the word limit. 1000 to 1200 words you should write, which means they give 14 sides in the actual examination, mains examination. They give you 14 sides, right, for one essay. So you should write, if you are writing 90 to 100 words in one side, so that means 12 to 14 sides. Now if I ask you to write any essay of your choice on any topic, right, you can actually write at least 800 words of essay. You can choose, like if I say randomly, write an essay and bring it to me. So which topic you would choose? Can you give some examples? On which topics you are comfortable? Geopolitics, excellent, very good. Then that means you are reading newspaper, you are comfortable. Very good. Then he said geopolitics, excellent choice. In there, any topic. It can be science, technology, engineering, computer science, medical science, health, agriculture, democracy, development, culture, history, women, men. What? ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ issue ಹೇಳಿ, like where you think you can. Now essay is about what? Essay is about generating ideas, right? You have to generate ideas and then you have to create a sequence of ideas. You have to link each ideas and you have to weave a kind of narrative, right, based on your own understanding, opinion. So which topics you are comfortable with? Can you write on education? Education topic? ಬರಿಬೋದು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ? Yes or no? On topic education. Now let us say education is what? It's an abstract word. Now there is no directive in it. I am not specific about it. What are you going to write on education? Now if I say that higher education in India is, you can add higher education in India is politicized. Okay. Higher education in India is politicized. Now it has a clear demand, right? Right. So now the quality of higher education in India is abysmal. I don't want to use the word pathetic. So abysmal is the same word, ABYSSMAL, abysmal. So the higher quality of higher education in India is, now all of you are victims of higher education, right? I mean beneficiaries of higher education. Beneficiaries or victims? No, to be true to your conscience. When you say that, victims or beneficiaries? Beneficiaries. Some of you are beneficiaries, minority. Majority, I would say it is victims only, right? What you deserve to get, right, you didn't get from your respective institutions. Right? What you deserve to get, you didn't get. So, that is another topic. So, democracy in India is under threat. India can become Vishwa Guru by 2035. India can become developed country by 2035. Right? Can India become superpower? A door close madapath. Can India become superpower? These are like school topics also, right? So now in UPSC, the kind of topics they are given is that visionary decision making happens at the intersection of logic and intuition. Visionary decision making happens at the intersection of logic and intuition. So this is previous year UPSC topic. Similarly, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. Again, this is UPSC topic, right? Forests are the best case studies for the economic excellence. This is another UPSC topic. These are the UPSC topics. Poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. Poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. So now, why you are sitting in this classroom? You are sitting in the classroom to realize your dream, to become IAS officers, right? Now, the distance between becoming IAS officer and current status is that, so you start at, what is democracy right now? You want to write something about democracy, a very easy topic, right? So when we say democracy, it has a history, how the idea of democracy evolved, right? Democracy is an idea. Is it an idea or a value? It is both. It is an idea as well as an ideal. Everyone wants to be, not everyone. Again, I should not say everyone. Afghanistan doesn't want to become democracy. Iran doesn't want to become democracy. But we are not sure about Iranians or Pakistanis or Afghanistan common citizens. Maybe they want to become a democratic country in the sense that they want more freedom, more equal opportunities, equal rights, equal access to resources. So this is what they want. Now you can start brainstorming about a topic from a basic level. What is democracy? What is the history of democracy? Is democracy a universal value? Is it a universal demand from everyone? Right? And then what does it constitute? Democracy. So democracy is what? Just a constitution or existence of certain rule of law or due process or whatever. Rules, regulations, laws, institutions. Right? And then we have local, what? Local self-government in India. Panchayat Raj institution. They are also called as democratic institutions. You got it? So the journey is from attempting a very basic topic to attempting a topic like visionary decision making happens at the intersection of logic and intuition. Now you should know philosophy of logic. What is logic? You should learn about intuition. Right? Enough to write 1,000+ words. Now UPSC is giving 8 topics and asking you to choose 2 topics. Right? So almost all 8 topics are of the nature of this. We call, like broadly we call them as philosophical essay topics. Now if they force you to write only 2 topics without giving you a choice, it can happen. Right? It can happen. in the UPSC. So then you are bound to write an essay about it, which means you have to learn about it. You must learn about it. So your journey is a very interesting, exciting journey of transformation of your being, the current being, whoever, whatever you are currently, right? From this level to not only attempting essay of that nature is a very minor level, right? In this entire UPSC journey, you have to be mindful, you have to be conscious every minute of your current, existence from now onwards. That there must be a conscious transformation within you, in your knowledge level, in your understanding level, in your capabilities, in your values, right? In your many qualities. Now, without simultaneously parallelly transforming, those qualities, if you think that what we are going to teach in the class, the notes we are going to give you, the test we are going to give you, only they are going to bring you rank, then you are wrong. Now, why it is easy? It is easy because you have everything to whatever you want to learn. You have access to resources, access to mentors. There is a perfect system put in place, especially at InsightsIAS, where regular classes, tests, mentorship, feedback, right? The total support, the round the clock. So the 360-degree angle, whatever you say, is available all the time. Now, again, it is easy because basically it is deeper and broader interest in whatever is happening around you, right? It is difficult. What, according to my observation, is that personalities are not ready to execute, implement what is actually required to crack this examination, the individuality, right? So the personality is not fully developed, right? Now, can you sit for 12 hours like straight, right? Even when no one is noticing, even when no one is expecting you to do, even when no one is forcing you to do, and voluntarily sit for 12 hours straight and read, write, understand, right? If you want to make notes, make notes. If you want to write answers, right? Somewhere alone, maybe in the market, maybe in the classroom, somewhere in the corner, somewhere in the library, in your room, right? Can you do it now, right? Maybe very few of you can do it. Most of you may not be able to do it currently, right? Now you have to start doing it. You have to do it. You have to do it. Your parents should never ask you a question that are you doing, are you giving the test? Are you attending the classes? Are you learning? Are you meeting the mentors? Now when it comes to meeting the mentor, that's a big headache for us. We have mentors, but people don't meet mentors. The reason you are not writing answers, you don't write essays, because see, I keep blaming the education system, the kind of system you have been through, that it hasn't added many dimensions to your personality, right? Like being proactive, right? Taking voluntary decisions, actions, taking leadership initiatives, right? So also in some cases humility also, overcoming any kind of self-doubt, inferiority complex also, right? So now you don't know something, what you do is that you do the easiest part. When you don't know, maybe mobile. If that is not the habit, then the neighbor, somebody who is in your surrounding, who you think is intelligent, maybe in the reading room, maybe in the classroom, you go and ask. There is nothing wrong about it. You can discuss, right? But there are more experienced people sitting in the chambers in our institution, right? Starting with me, and there are mentors. So you must come and show your answers, essays, ask your doubts before taking any decision. In a class of 200 people, 5 to 10 people are the only ones who actually regularly meet their mentors, right? Now onwards, what happens? Some of you will stop attending the classes, right? Excuses, everything is excuse. So you will invent excuse, right? The mind, is a very beautiful thing, right? So when you want to escape, you invent excuses, right? When you want to do something, then also you invent a reason, you strong purpose. When you want to do something, so the mind, how you think, how you train, that is how it acts. So some of you will leave, maybe you start dreaming less, any government job, right? Some of you will start thinking it is difficult, right? It is too much to do, overwhelming, right? And some of you will start seeing problems back home, that the problem is calling you back, right? That you have to be there to address that problem. So like this, many issues. So every issue can be addressed when you open up, when you have a conversation, right? Now never stop, never, number one, never dream less. Now all of you want to become IAS, IPS. Now don't downgrade into becoming PDO. There is nothing wrong in becoming PDO. I was PDO, right, for 2 years. But I didn't want to die as a PDO, right? So took a risk, left. So and then cracked KS, right? But KS PDO happened when my UPSC last attempt, right? After only giving last attempt. But that should not be your path also, choice. I mean, when you are preparing for UPSC, prepare only for the UPSC. But go on giving every examination that is out there. Go on giving every examination without ever deviating from the UPSC path. Got it? Be very clear about it. This is very dangerous situation that you yourself will be seeing in the future, maybe 6 months, 10 months later. That what you will do, after spending 1 year, you will feel like you are unemployed, relying on the parents, someone else's money, not doing anything. So then you will force yourself, first let me crack sub-inspector exam, PSI. Let me crack any bank exam, FD exam, right? So you will deviate. So you'll stop learning deeply, the syllabus according to UPSC expectation, and then you will start doing things superficially. So when you spend enough number of time, like say it usually takes 6 months, minimum 6 months for some other exam to prepare. Meanwhile, the other competition has moved ahead, the people who are with you, right? And you have downgraded yourself, again bouncing back to that level is demoralizing. It's very difficult. You are getting my point. So KPSC notification, you apply, forget, come back to UPSC, prepare according to UPSC level, and when the examination, if it happens, in the case of KPSC, after notification, if the examination takes place, go and write the examination, come back, forget, don't even check your answer keys, don't even expect to crack the examination. From the very next day, start continuing the UPSC preparation. If you crack prelims, go and write the mains examination with all the knowledge you have gained from the UPSC preparation, without spending even single day for the KPSC. I mean it. Now you will ask me a question. I want to know more about Karnataka. Karnataka geography, history. In the beginning I told you that being Kannadiga, you should have deeper appreciation for Karnataka geography, history, even beyond the examination. Read it every day. Read Prajavani or Vijayavani newspaper. They supplements every week. You will learn lots of Karnataka history, geography. Right? If you open every Sunday supplement of Kannada newspaper, you will see all the interesting geography places. You will see lots of expert articles written about social, cultural, economic situation about Karnataka. Right? So you don't have to spend like 3-4 months learning separately about which river originates where, which is a tributary of which river. No, these are all excuses. Right? Prepare for the UPSC. It is like going higher and higher level. So now the concepts like intuition, logic, reason, right, which are there in the UPSC like truth, justice, freedom, they all require you to go beyond the factual things, conceptual things you learn. They are philosophical in nature, right? So the keener interest which you develop, from factual, it should transform into philosophical eventually. You are getting my point. So that happens only when you, as I kept saying, curiosity, deeper interest, but that should allow you to read quality resources. quality books, quality papers, quality podcasts, right? There are n number of podcasts by Nobel laureates, right? The foremost, the highest, experts in respective field. We say industry leaders if it is business field, right? Let us say, example, I keep giving this example wherever I go. Have you heard about Demis Hassabis? Anyone? The name? Demis Hassabis. No? How many of you watch YouTube every day? For any reason? Okay. So, ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವತ್ತು ಬಂದೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಇದು ಹೆಸರು? Okay. So, that means two things you didn't do. That you didn't follow who won the Nobel Prize last year. Right. Maybe in chemistry he won Nobel Prize in chemistry. Right. So, you don't have keener interest to know, right, in the world of medicine, physics, chemistry, economics, what is the most advancing research is taking place and who are the people associated with these things. Because when people win Nobel Prize, right, after a few years they become products, right? Their research actually becomes products that usually save humanity or become something that the World Wide Web, for example, right, internet. So before it became internet, somebody won the Nobel Prize. So this Demis Hassabis, for example, he is a leading expert in artificial intelligence in the world today. So he is the CEO of Google's DeepMind. Google has a wing called DeepMind. So mainly AI related research. So his podcasts are the most intelligent, deep podcasts that you can hear on the technology in general about artificial intelligence. So he created a product, let's say software called AlphaFold. AlphaFold, what it does, how many of your biology graduates, maybe Agri, Horticulture, MBBS, biology, how many of you? Can you raise your hands? Okay. Doctors? Okay. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಯಾಲಜಿ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಿ 12th ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಓಕೆ, ಗುಡ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್? ಚೈನ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ಸ್. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಚೈನ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಇರ್ತದ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್? ಎಸ್, amino acid is a building block, so it's a chain of amino acids, right? So how does a protein look like? So it has a folded structure, right? It has a folded structure. Every protein has a unique fold, right? Every single protein has a unique fold. So no two proteins are similar, and when you fold that, what is said, amino acid chains, right? So now this AlphaFold project revealed the every structure, every folding of almost every protein that actually exists. More than 2 million proteins, right? Maybe it is plant protein, humans, whichever proteins that are available. Now why it is important? Now knowing the protein structure is fundamental to what? To create cure for any disease that exists, right? So in one of the podcasts I learned that he actually said that in another decade or so the world is going to be disease free thanks to artificial intelligence. Now using AI they have revealed the protein structures, right? So now what does it mean? I mean, like 10 years later, if the world is going to be free of diseases, in the kemmu, negadi, jwara, chikungunya, maybe bigger diseases, right, like diabetes and all, maybe even cancer. If the world is what does it mean? When the world is free from diseases, no doctors, MBBS, okay, then no pharmacy. Maybe there may be pharmacy to cure all the diseases. I mean, that is what he meant, maybe curing all the diseases. Then Now the reason I'm talking about this, I talk about this because I find it very deep and interesting. This particular Demis Hassabis, his name is, right? ಇದು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೇನಪ್ಪ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ? ಬ್ರೌಸರ್ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. Home. So this Lex Friedman podcast, you should go back and watch, right? For example, like the future of work in the age of AI, accelerating. This is a Cambridge University lecture. So you watch this also, is very interesting. Accelerating scientific discovery with AI. Okay. As a deep mind, AI, super intelligence, and the future of humanity.
Do you think we're close to seeing AI being able to cure a major disease like an Alzheimer's or a cancer?
I think we are very close. I would say we're a couple of years away from having the first truly AI designed drugs for a major disease, cardiovascular, cancer. We're working on all of those things. And then obviously there's still the clinical trials and that stuff has to happen. And right now that would be the bottleneck. But I think certainly getting it into the clinic, the discovery phase, I would like to, shrink that from years to months, maybe even weeks at some point. So I think in a couple of years, I would be disappointed if we don't have some great candidates for drugs for very important diseases, starting to go through clinical trials.
Do you think we're close to seeing?
You heard it, right? So now there are so many people, even Elon Musk is trying to cure the vision loss, permanent vision loss, right? Neurodegenerative diseases, finding the permanent cure for most of the diseases. Now, you all of you want to become IAS officers, IPS. Now, when you are in that position as an IAS officer, maybe solving issues related to healthcare may not be a big problem for you, right? It may be creating more employment, how to engage more people, when they are sitting idle in their home, right? Government is giving you everything, food, everything, right? So you must develop. There is no alternative here, there is no excuse here. You have to start watching stuff like this because this is, you listen to me very carefully, this is going to become the norm as part of the examination demand, right? The questions will be like this, right? About like diverse areas. Now if you think that by reading only Lakshmikant you are going to crack this examination, you are not going to crack this examination. Now regarding election commission, right? Now there have been series of news, right? There have been protests, there has been allegations about election commission, right? Now you have to develop keener interest. Take out all the articles that are coming about election commission, learn about election commission, right? Which part of the constitution, which articles, start from their factual stuff, right? Why there is election commission? What is the mandate of election commission? Who appoints election commissioners? What is their role? Right? What is the difference between the election commission of India and the election commission that is there in the state? Are they fully autonomous? Right? Who prepares these electoral rolls? Is the local level officials, or does election commission of India send their officials to prepare here? Who has the control? State government or the union government? Now, what does it mean to democracy? Now, linking it with the democracy. Now, linking it with the development. You are getting my point. Now, we teach about development, we teach about democracy, we also teach about interlinking, but you have maximum chance of cracking this examination when you actually stay ahead, right? By understanding the competition, by being more curious. Now, everything must be done. Now, where this question can be asked? It can be asked in the prelims, it can be asked in the paper 3, mains paper 3, or it can be asked in the interview. Let us say that you are agriculture graduate or horticulture or you are a medical graduate. So this question can be asked. Right? So what doctors are going to do when there is a cure for Alzheimer? Right? When there is a cure for Parkinson's, when there is a cure for other neurodegenerative diseases, there are many. Right? So what doctors are going to do? It can be hypothetical. Now they are asking question, why being a doctor you want to become an IAS officer in the interview. So in the mains they can ask these questions, how the country should evolve its policies, right? So when there is a situation that almost everyone is going to be healthy, right? When the population is healthy, how should be your policies, right? Now you are not going to spend so much on making them healthy, right? That money has to be diverted somewhere, to engage you, to get more out of you, right? To make you more productive. So what should be the nature of the policy? And now you becoming IAS officer, how are you going to implement them? Now, in the orientation, the reason I am talking today, especially in this orientation about all these issues, I am totally tired, fed up with mediocre students who are not curious, lack even basic interest in knowing what is happening around them. When they bring essay, when they bring answer, it is totally copied from the useless toppers copies, right? The examples, same what previous UPSC topper has written, you copy that example and you write in your essay, think that you are going to become topper. No, that ceased. Last year, that topper had done his or her own hard work. They learned more. They showcased, right? They performed. UPSC rewarded. That is the end. Now you are in a new competition, new cycle of competition this year. You have to beat that competition. You have to learn more. That is how competitions, that is how the exam is becoming more difficult, right? So you have to be like, I keep telling you, many steps ahead. So for that, extra hard work, right? Willing to read more, learn more, understand more, that attitude must be there every minute. If that is not there, then if you are merely learning, now what has happened, like here, a topper has written a book on how to write an essay. Some 5-6 years ago, he wrote how to write an essay. And even today, people refer to that book and write essay. Even today, that was written 5-6 years ago. They read it, right? The book is not updated. He wrote the book, he vanished. Right? Now the world has moved on, right? People have become more intelligent. The education system has reformed to some extent. There is so much of fresh talent coming into the competition, very ambitious, with lots of exposure, lots of experiences, lots of internships, lots of reading, right? So we have competition from best of the institutions in India, right? From everywhere. So we have best practices, new benchmarks. Now if you read a book that was written for people who were preparing 5 years ago and write in a similar way, the structuring and all, you are not at all there in the competition. You are absolutely not there in the competition. So you have to learn newly and you have to learn individually and showcase that in your answers and essays, the individuality, individual stamp, the originality. The more originality, see everything within the framework of the syllabus. We are not deviating from the syllabus. We are not deviating from the demand of the question. So there is a way how to make things more original. So that is what we try to do at InsightsIAS, because the mentorship is meant not to give you a mental support or not only the moral support. It is there to develop individuality in each of you, right? So that is where when you come with an essay to me or Vinay Sir or any other mentors, when you go with an answer to any other mentors here, so they will, when you frequently meet them, it should not be like guest appearance. You come once, you show it, you get the appreciation, you feel pumped up, and then you vanish. You should not be like that, because geography you may be performing well currently. When the geography gets over, you know that in our institution we complete one subject completely and then we move to another subject. So while completing one subject, what we do? We have daily test, weekly test, and then full length test after the subject. So we move to another subject, and when you are in the economy, you may not be very good with the economy subject, right? Suddenly, when you are performing very well in geography test, in the economy test, you will see dip in your performance. You will make lots of errors in the both prelims and mains. And in every week we conduct both prelims and mains test. What I see is that maximum number of people giving only prelims test. Mains test requires effort. Right? It requires effort to open the pen, open the cap, right? It requires effort to open the notebook, start writing something. It requires lots of efforts. So it also requires efforts to come, get up from your room, right? Walk till the classroom, right? Ask for the booklet, question paper, sit and write. It requires lots of effort. So what people do, they find it easy to fill the dots, in prelims OMR sheet. That is easy. There is a question, you don't have to think deeply, right? So if you you put just, you darken the bubble and then you give it. So that is again, if there are 200 people, around 100 people come and give the prelims, around 10 to 20 people come and give the mains test, and within those 10 to 20, those who are consistent, right, they actually get us the rank. So this has been the thing. And again, I go back to a very fundamental question, that if this is what you want to do after coming to Bangalore, after fighting with your parents, convincing your parents, right? Why you want to continue as your old self, right? The same lazy, the same mediocre, right? Now you have to become more intelligent, more smart, right? You have to become, everyone can actually become. It is all within your willpower, right? It is there within you, right? It is your choice. This is basically a choice. The choice exists in front of you. Who you want to be, you have to choose, and you have to become like that. The moment you start doing that, it's a wonderful journey. And today there is an interview that I had given to Kannada Prabha that has appeared. So there was this question. So what if they don't crack UPSC examination? Right? That is there, right? So that fear will always be there. What if people don't crack UPSC examination? Now again, the general trend is that you want to settle with some job, maybe private, maybe some other government job. That is the general thinking. If not UPSC, I will settle with some other job, right? So what I have said in the interview is that they should not settle for less. They should try to get into universities like Cambridge, Harvard or Oxford, right? Maybe National Law School here, it is there 2 kilometers from here. Maybe IITs, IIM Bangalore is there. Maybe IISC also, right? Most of the topmost higher education institutions have started courses in humanities, right? In public policy, so many diverse courses, right? Once you become curious, once you equip yourself with lots of diverse knowledge, ability to analyze, right? Ability to, we say critical powers of assimilation is critical thinking. ability to think critically. If you develop based on whatever I have been telling, even if you don't make UPSC, right, there is a opportunity, there is an opportunity, a chance that you can actually get into the world's best universities, because they ask you to write an essay, they want you to convince them why you want to go there, right, and then become better than IAS or IPS. There is an opportunity, right? So maybe you don't see it that way. Maybe you can get into job also for 1 or 2 years and then from there again evolve further. But you undermine yourself because the very nature of preparation is mostly factual, memorizing, thinking that the exam is predictable, that you do something and then that can be repeated in the examination. This is not that examination. You cannot repeat what you have read in the, right? You cannot merely come and repeat as it is, right? You have to analyze, you have to apply that knowledge. It's a wonderful journey I call, right? The reason is that, your mental power, your strength, your intellectual powers, they all flourish, they all grow, and you will be distinguished. Like, let's say if you want to start a business, right? So if you have developed yourself, you have studied like this, right? You are definitely going to succeed as a businesswoman or businessman. Maybe if you get into Harvard, see, when I am telling this, I have actually sent students to such institutions. Those who are like that, and they are doing far better than some of the IAS officers. So now, when you become an IAS, when you crack this IAS with this course of preparation, you are going to be a better IAS officer, you are going to distinguish yourself, people will notice you for your individuality, right? Right, your depth, you will be noticed everywhere and you will be rewarded accordingly. So you may be 10 years junior to someone, but then you will be given a very highly responsible role. One example I can give, there was this, his name is Saikant Verma, right, rank 18, 2014 Civil Service Examination. He was from IIT Madras. He is not our student or my student, right? So he's kind of a friend. I started in 2014, but he said that I used to see your website. I'm not sure he prepared, but that is not the point here. So he got All India rank 18 in his very first attempt, and in the same batch, from my first batch, 5 more people got into UPSC. One is All India rank 8, so he's currently DC of Raichur, and 4 more, 3 got into IAS, 1 got into IRS IT. So because it was my first batch, so they had invited me to Labasna, right, when they went to foundation course. So I went to foundation course and I happened to stay in the room of Saikant Verma. Stayed there for 2 days. And after becoming topper, what you do usually? Right, you stop reading, right? Most of the people, right? Except for those I was talking about. The kind of preparation, the kind of upbringing, right? So Saikant Verma, I went in his room and I saw big books on economics, right, technology, especially economics. So he was just reading, right? I mean, he had developed keen interest in economics, technology, and he was reading during the foundation course. People usually don't read during the foundation course. It is those 3 months are, where this camaraderie with fellow. That is the intention basically. You become, you appreciate the culture, right? You grow the network, you become friends with all the people from diverse parts of the country. You appreciate India, so you develop vision for the India, right? That is how the nature of lectures. Some people read also. Now, after 10 years, when Chandrababu Naidu government came in Andhra Pradesh, so he was chosen as the CEO of Andhra Pradesh Investment Board or something, right? Andhra Pradesh Knowledge Investment Board, I think. So it is the state level organization. So I'm not very sure, like he was chosen over 5-10 years seniors to him, right? So his job was to what? Bring investment from Microsoft, Google, discuss with CEOs of Google, Microsoft, like big tech, all big tech, not just these companies, any company in semiconductors and all, attract investment and facilitate investment. Now he's still, I think, maybe 32, 34 maybe, right? And that's a very big responsibility for a very young age. Now that was given mainly because of the knowledge and smartness that he continued to, I'm sure like after getting into training, he continued to read and distinguish yourself. Now this is what should be your aim. Now this entire UPSC preparation becomes so easy when you develop larger vision for yourself and for the country, right? We don't exaggerate our small issues, right? Make them bigger pain in our life when you actually develop a big vision for yourself, big dream for the country, right? So if you want to bring revolution in the education sector, now you are thinking about it, you are developing an idea, developing a path, vision for that major issue, right? So one of the ways is to become an IAS maybe and then be in the policy formulation as well as implementation. You're getting my point, right? So when you are stuck in that, right, thought process, so preparing every day for UPSC examination is actually easy, right? So it is all naturally driven. It becomes so easy for you. I hope you are getting my point, all of you, right? Right? ಇಲ್ಲ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು ನಾನು ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಗೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ರೈಟ್, ನಾವು ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಓದಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೀರಿ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತಂದು. ನೋ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಬಿಗ್ ಲೈ, ರೈಟ್? ಐ ನೆವರ್ ಬಿಲೀವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ವಿ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ರೆಡಿಮೇಡ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್, right? So easy to generate materials nowadays, right? 1 minute task. Am I right or wrong? Earlier, like 1 year ago, it was difficult, maybe, but again, not that difficult. Geography, some material, copy paste from different sources. Polity, some material. Just presentation and structuring more attractive to attract more students. Give it, ask you to study it. Now what everyone do? Everyone will read the same thing and everyone will write the same examples, right? No. So when the class happens, when you write down the notes, you must go back. What should be your daily routine, right? So you come to the class, you attend for 3 hours. So in the class, lots of facts and concepts, new ideas you learn. And I am so proud that every class, every teacher will teach so nicely. You will never feel difficulty whether you come from Kannada medium, whether you come from non-humanities background. Every subject is going to be taught as per the syllabus, both prelims and mains, and everyone will understand in the class. Now you have to develop those concepts. You have to apply those concepts when you go out of the class. So the first thing is to read NCERTs. This is for further conceptual clarity and reinforcement of the concepts. And secondly, solve all NCERT exercises that are there in the back of the chapter. Third, immediately take up the PYQ book, right? Both prelims and mains. So if you have learnt certain concept in 3 hours, I'm sure both prelims and mains, if it is there, the overlapping syllabus, so there will be n number of questions. So you take those questions and try to solve them, right? After solving, you have to analyze them, right? Why you are getting some questions wrong and why you were stuck with some questions, 50%, right? So you have to analyze. Is it knowledge gap? You didn't understand concept completely, right? Analysis is very important. It all takes time, but it is all worth giving more time, right? This is like reinforcement after reinforcement in your concepts, in your understanding. And then when different subjects take place, now let's say geography, you are doing this process, right? And when it comes to mains previous year questions, write at least one answer, right? If it is related question. And then other questions you can analyze, right? So, you can open a standard textbook then when you are analyzing the mains and see to what extent you need to write answer. And then further revision, because we have a weekly test. So one day before Sunday, that is Saturday, you revise all PYQs, you revise all your class notes, all the daily answer writing you have done, and then you will have the courage to come and write both prelims and mains answers, right? Only if you're doing it on a daily basis. Now when there are 2 subjects in a day, now it is a choice for you that you can go with only one subject, right? That you can say that 27 that you are going to give the exam, right? I mean, if you are a slow reader, if your comprehension power is slow, right? If you need more time, or if you are quick, you can do the same thing for the 2 subjects. Got it? And then you can aim for the 26 examination. So go according to your speed, go according to, so once you develop these powers, right, ability to read fast, understand fast, comprehend, right, the digest and put it into action, the apply the concept. So then maybe you can go for 2 subjects. And then weekly test is important. So and then after 4 or 5 weeks you will have a full length test, you are revising entire subject. And now comes the question, now when geography gets over, when economy is being done, how are you going to revise geography, right? So then again you have to pick up prelims and mains questions of geography, especially prelims, right? More PYQs, more questions from like our sources like Insights, right? We have so many these static questions. The question bank is there on the website. So you take every day, you spend only 15 to 20 minutes just to solve geography questions when economy is happening. You are getting my point. So similarly, when economy gets over, environment is being done, geography MCQs, economy MCQs. So do it as fun, do it as natural curiosity. Like take MCQs wherever, like you have NDA exam, CDS exam, so many other UPSC exams where objective questions are there, right? Morning to night be in this process, and before going to sleep at least half an hour read fiction or non-fiction books, anything of your choice, not self-help books, right? Not self-help books. Stop reading them. They're not going to help you. Do they really help you? ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್? Atomic Habits, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, You Can Win, Think and Grow Rich, How to Make Friends Fast and something like this, right? How to Become a Billionaire. ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಓದಿರೋರೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಲಿಯನೇರ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? Wonderful books written on so many diverse topics that appear every day in the newspaper, right? For example, let's say election commission you are reading. There may be, for example, TN session, and there was one more Lindo. So they were chief election commissioners. So they have written books, right? Autobiographies, and there are biographies, right? So I believe that is the ultimate source of understanding, because you have inner view of an institution, right? So they have analyzed again the best books, so you can read the reviews and write again, then only they become ultimate book, not every book. So if you read 15 to 30 minutes every day before going to sleep, any fiction or non-fiction book, you are going to complete at least 2 books in a month, right? So that is like 20 plus books in a year. And then these books can be developed as specific interest, like you start reading only about, let's say you are so much interested in space technology, right? General books written on space, or maybe climate change, or maybe artificial intelligence, or maybe constitution itself, variety of books, or maybe Ambedkar. So you want to read lots of books written on Ambedkar, right? You can choose anything, or maybe only novels. So then when it comes the mains stage, after cracking prelims, you can put it as your hobby and interest. So when you reach the interview stage, they will be very much interested. Okay, you have read books by Ambedkar and books on Ambedkar, right? I'm sure there is going to be a very good discussion on the topic. They are bound to ask questions. So your interview in 20 minutes, you can walk out with 200 plus marks. In 20 to 30 minutes, you can walk out with, so all the words I was mentioning, clear and logical exposition, critical powers of assimilation, these come in the interview part of the notification, where they mention interview, the scheme of examination, right? So then for mains, again, they have written one or two paragraph. What is the clear cut expectation? So ensure that your preparation is integrated, prelims, mains and interview. So like I'm very sure you are not thinking about interview currently, right? Even people who write multiple prelims, multiple mains, they don't actually prepare for the interview. The preparation for interview happens only after clearing the mains, not after writing the mains. After writing mains also you are in self-doubt whether you are going to crack mains or not, right? So once you know that you have cracked mains, conquered mains, then you start preparing for the personality test, not interview, personality test. So then you start developing your personality. Like you have 2 to 3 months time. Right. Can you immediately develop critical powers of assimilation, clear and logical exposition, right? Can you do that? No, right? Now, paper 1, general studies paper 1 in mains. For how many marks you have to write answers? 2. What is the highest marks you can score in paper 1? Let us say you read every bit of art and culture, geography, modern history, world history, society, that is there in the syllabus, right? And you have poured your heart out in the paper. What is the highest marks you can score in paper 1? 140? No, that used to be when Nandini was writing in 16, 17. 130 used to be highest. Now somewhere around 100 or 110 in paper 1. Doesn't matter how well you have written. I haven't seen 120 plus in a lot many years in previous years. Paper 3 100 plus almost impossible. Paper 3, right? Economy, agriculture, environment, science and technology, disaster management, security issues, right? These are all newspaper things. Paper 2 and paper 3 totally newspaper. Our Insights Secure initiative can become your ultimate primary source. When you learn the concepts to practice, Sushti Deshmukh, a word, right? So she used to write answers on Insights Secure initiative. So this initiative is for the most curious, most consistent, hardworking, ambitious students. This is not for everyone. This is for those who want to get into top 10, right? ನೀವು ಒಳಗೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ ಹ್ಞೂ ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಟಾಪ್ 10 ಈ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಚುಚ್ಚಲಿ ಅಂತ ನಂಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ನಾನು. So every day, so this was kind of invented 12 years ago by me. I started this daily answer writing culture in UPSC, right? There was no this answer writing practice, answer writing culture. So this free initiative I started, like people from across India, then they used to write, even today they write answers. So let us say this is like general studies paper 1, this is static question, but the source sometimes is newspaper, right? So for this we are given a timetable, something called like Mission 2026. So why we give Google? Because there is a timetable, and based on the timetable. Now when it comes to paper 2, so there is a reference, IE Indian Express. The future of Indian education lies not in preserving legacy structures, but in leapfrogging them through AI. Critically analyze this statement. Also evaluate the feasibility of an AI-driven education model, and the policy changes need to enable it. I was talking about health. Now this is about AI and education. There is an article. Now people are already thinking, how should our policy be when AI becomes so pervasive? Like, it is there everywhere. AI, right? So the source is Indian Express. India doesn't need more linguistic nationalism, it needs scalable AI powered classrooms. So there is an idea in the article. Without reading the article, we can say that it is not talking about more linguistic nationalism, that our should education be only in 2 languages, 3 languages, should Hindi be there or not. That is like linguistic nationalism we are talking about. It should not be about linguistic nationalism. It should be about, because language becomes irrelevant in the era of AI. You can learn in Kannada, you can learn in English, you can learn in any language. You can instantly translate, right? So it's about scalable AI powered classrooms. So we have failed to build physical classrooms, put desks in the physical classroom. Now AI powered classrooms. Now Tara Das has desk good. So there she has written opinion, right? Now at InsightsIAS what we do. So we want you to think about the articles, right? Take one idea from the article and create an answer, like opinion. So we are saying that is not preserving legacy structure. Legacy structure is again part of the linguistic nationalism which we are talking about. But in leapfrogging them through AI, how? The article may have points or may not have points. So you have to think, learn and apply here, right? So you can click the question and then you can post your comments. Let's say anonymous, maybe from Nagaland or Jammu Kashmir, we don't know. From any part of the country has written answer like introduction, arguments in favor of AI, right? Arguments against replacing legacy systems with AI. So now you sitting here, when you open the website, you will get to see the same competitors who are going to write this examination, how they are thinking, how they are presenting their answers, right? What is the depth that they are showcasing in their answer. So make it a everyday routine in the morning, right? To open this initiative, to look at the question, read the article, think about the article. You start eventually attempting the question, but at least a few days go through the initiative, right? So then we are reviewing it, and then Danish Manivandan, definitely from maybe Tamil Nadu, right? So he has written his own answer. Again he has written. Then Swaroop. So his handwriting is good. So he has written Apaisa. Apaisa has written answer. Jenny, right? So you open all the questions, you will see so many people writing answers. Srishti Deshmukh used to write like this every day, at least 5 to 6 answers, secure initiative, right? And she didn't pay a single rupee to any coaching institution, right? She didn't buy any courses from InsightsIAS. She relied on this Insights website. That was because the things I was speaking about, she had developed from school days. Reading newspapers, all the qualities which I was referring to, right? So that is why whenever I go outside, when people ask, is coaching necessary? I say coaching is necessary if you haven't done these things, which I discussed. It is not necessary when you have done all the things I have done. What you need is the guidance. Directly jump into writing answers, then you get it reviewed, right? Come and join the test series, get the mentorship, right? So unfortunately for all of you it is required, so you don't worry about it. You don't think negatively about the coaching. So at InsightsIAS the coaching is not like coming to class and listening here. You will experience every teacher is analytical. They will make you think, right? They will involve in this process, and we want you to become really ready for the challenges, for all the challenges that we are going to face in the services. So the secure initiative is a wonderful initiative. Read the questions, right? The mains. So when you are going for another subject, let's say economy or polity, paper 2 and 3, most of the topics which you read as part of static are covered here. Like AI, for computers, robotics and computers is mentioned. AI is not mentioned in the syllabus. It is related to computers. So there is a syllabus related direct question here. Now it is getting interlinked with the paper 2 topic. The education comes in the paper 2. So developing this ability every day, right? So naturally paper 2 and 3 you will master. Now the argument I was making earlier, paper 3 100 plus is impossible, paper 1 110 is nearly impossible, essay 150 plus has become impossible, but I believe it is possible when you give really essay, especially write real analytical virginal essay. Right, the scope is huge. You can interpret topic the way you want. You have to give reasons. You have to justify it. Now in the interview, right, after learning so much, after developing hobbies and interest, you can walk in, sit there for 20 to 30 minutes, right? So you answer, you respond to all their questions, you engage them in an intellectual conversation. You can walk out with 200 plus marks in 20 to 30 minutes, which is impossible. Paper 1 and 3 combined, 200 plus in paper 1 and 3, even if you put 10 hours of work every day, right? Writing, reading, learning, geography, economy, environment, agriculture. You are getting my point, right? So there are many people who have scored less, just 5 marks above the cutoff, scored 200 plus in the interview and have become officers. May not be IAS, IPS, but if you score, how much you should score in the mains to become IAS if you are in the general category? Even according to present demand. 800. Okay, good. What is the highest marks in mains? Mains is for 1750 marks. Out of 1750, what was the highest marks that was scored last year? ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ಸಿ ಇಷ್ಟಾದರೂ ಕ್ಯೂರಿಯಾಸಿಟಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. Eventually you are going to write mains, right? You need to have a target, right? Prelims, cutoff is last year 87.4, right? So you know that you should score 90 and above in prelims. So then only preparation gets organized and structured. So in mains 863 was the highest marks last year. 729 was the cutoff for general. So if you had scored 729 and above, you were called for the interview last year. So now 729 to 863, right? So that is the range in which you have all 1000 odd people, who got selected, or maybe who called for interview, 2500 people, right? So now to score 800 plus, I am going to give you few targets, right, when it comes to mains. So can you just write down the marks, like, this should be your ambition on a daily basis, because eventually you are going to learn each and every subject. You can type in mobile. Calculator ತಗೊಂಡು. Those who don't have notebook, right? So essay 140. So I'll give you two targets, most ambitious target and decent target, okay? So 140 is ambitious target, essay 140 plus. So 130 is decent target. You can say 130 you can write first and then 140. 130 to 140. Got it? So general studies paper 1, 90 to 110. 90, 110. Paper 3, 100, 120. Sorry, paper 2. General studies paper 2. 100, 120. General studies paper 3, 90 to 100 again. Very difficult, but you can aim for it. Ethics 110 to 130. Optional 250 to 280. Optional 250 to 280. Can you calculate both the decent scores and ambitious scores, both the totals? $800? 860 is what? Ambitious or decent? 860 is ಎಷ್ಟು? 860 ambitious, like 140 essay, 280. 860 good. ಇದು ಈ ಕಡೆದು 770. Okay. So 770 they are saying, is it right? 770? CSAT ದೇವರೇ ಕಾಪಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಮಗ್ಗಿ ಕಲಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್, ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಅಡಿಷನ್ಸ್. ಆಯ್ತು, 770ನಾ? ಓಕೆ, 770 ಮತ್ತೆ 860 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಓಕೆ, 880 ambitious. ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಇದು ಕಡೆದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ 100 marks ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಹತ್ರ. ಸೊ 880 ಬೇಡ, ಅದು ಭಾಳ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ 880, 899 2024 topper. 899 was the highest score in mains. It got dropped to 863 last year, but 863 is not all India rank 1 score. Right, 863 is I think rank 9 or 14. He scored less in interview, so rank. She scored high in interview. So usually all India rank 1, usually they have highest marks in the mains. So now your target is this. So again you can reduce let's say 10 marks in essay, 130, right? 10 marks in ethics, even then 10 marks in optional. Your marks is going to be around 850. So 850 is the sure shot top 10 marks, right? When you score 170 plus in interview. So 770 plus again 200 in interview or 190 in interview, sure shot IAS. Got it? See, now everything you are going to do, every single action, every single thought, behavior, somewhere is to reach these targets. Now without doing daily answer writing practice, without learning curiously, right, without having intellectual discussion every day, leaving all the gossip out, you are not going to reach these targets. So learn, enjoy, right? You have to love what you are doing. It's a very interesting examination, and the competition is very healthy here. For example, what I have seen is that no, he is not jealous of him, she is not jealous of her. Usually everyone is learning here, everyone comes from a different background, so everyone actually collaborate here, right? Add us to your collaboration, come and learn from us, get evaluated from our team, right? Now coming to optional, strictly I am against. Now I said 250 to 280 marks, right? Now what happens, you people almost, like, tell me, like, honestly, for how long you have been reading newspapers? More than 1 year. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for more than 1 year. Okay, for more than 5 years. Yeah, 1 year ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. Okay, maybe 2 years, 3 years you may be reading. ಯಾವ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಪ್ಪ? ಪ್ರಜಾವಾಣಿ and ಹಿಂದೂ. Good. You? ಪ್ರಜಾವಾಣಿ. Good. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಜಾವಾಣಿ ಬರೀ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರ? ನಾವು ಇದು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಅಂತ, ಜನರಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್, ರೈಟ್? Studying means what? Not mere reading. You have to study the papers also, right? So all of you, literally, because you only 4 to 5 people raised your hands, ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಂದಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದೋದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಲೂ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ. ದಡ್ರು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ, ಕಷ್ಟ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಬೈತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸಾರ್ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ರೈಟ್, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ನೌ ಯು ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ general awareness, right? You lack knowledge about what is happening in and around the world, the deeper knowledge. Now, how it is related to optional is that from today onwards, for 1750 marks, out of 1750, 1250 marks, you have to learn a lot about GS, interview, mains, and prelims perspective, right? So, in prelims, they are not going to ask about optional, right? They are not, in interview, they are not going to ask much about optional. If your hobbies intersection is 0, then they may ask some questions related to your optional, right? So now you have to build, like, from the scratch, the huge repository, huge knowledge base about general studies, all these current affairs and everything, big by big, strong foundation. So naturally you have to give more time for that. Any optional that allows you to give more time for this should be your natural choice. Number 1, right? Not your interest, not your academic background. Second is the scoreability, the trend. There are some optionals which are doing really good. There are some optionals which are not doing good. So broadly 6 optionals as far as I know doing good. One is political science, sociology, anthropology, literature, geography, public administration. So only if you are extremely good, let's say in law, medical science, what I have seen, if you have done PG, then you have more chance. Agree, many people have done well, but post graduations again have advantage. Law, 5 years you have studied law deeply, then you have an advantage. Otherwise, professional courses, if you have done only BA, BCom, BSc, right, and think that you are going to take commerce or chemistry, physics, botany, zoology, you are not going to crack this examination. Absolutely. Anybody who is thinking of zoology, botany, even after doing masters, I would still discourage, right? So the optional should be either these subjects and should overlap with GS papers, and like optional like history, philosophy, definitely don't go for them, right? So there was a time when the optionals were doing really great, but now it's very difficult to score even 200, 220 plus in these optionals, right? So if you take wrong optional, that means you are out of the competition, right? So choose optional wisely, come and talk to our mentors. And so all of you are in August 25 now, right? I think 27 should be your first attempt, right? So now there is a confusion, like should I go for optional or not, right? Now there is so much to study for GS. Now I would say don't take optional currently, immediately. So maybe after 5 to 6 months, once you have gained enough GS knowledge, then better to take optional. Now if you add optional now, you will have to sit sometimes 9 hours in the classroom, right? So then what happens? You will merely listen, get familiar with the subjects, make notes, but deeper understanding, right, that internalization of the concepts, knowledge becomes very difficult because you cannot go back and practice, revise and practice, not even revise, right? So that is why my suggestion is look at 27 as your first attempt, and only if you are extraordinary, like 12 to 14 hours every day for next till mains, you have that capacity, then maybe you can, right? So that is why I said it's very difficult, this mental toughness. It's very difficult to maintain that consistency, that long duration of studying, And finally, what I would like to say is that don't take stress. Stress is something you create by yourself, right? It is not imposed on you. It arises mainly because of lots of expectation, self-expectation. You have this expectation that you want to perform like this. No, performance you forget about. Every day giving the best to your ability, enriching yourself, right? Feel that confidence building within you. Incrementally, you will be able to reach that goal. Secondly, don't think about what your parents are expecting, what your friends are doing. Forget about it. Third, stop attaching with the examination, right? IAS is not the end. You can do much bigger things than the IAS. But give your best. Keep this in your mind, give your best. Like intense, let it be intense. But don't attach. Right? And fourth, don't attach with the result. In a sense, every week you will not be performing well. So you have been performing well so far till now, right? In your graduation, in your school. Now suddenly you won't be able to repeat here in this UPSC cycle. So now don't relate that with your past academic performance. Right? This is something totally new. You are again back to school. Right? You are learning basics. So you are bound to perform poorly many times. So you give yourself time, eventually you will learn. Fifth, go with your own pace. Right? Just because you are in the competition, you will be overstressed when you want to, do something that your mind and body is not yet capable currently, right? You have to slowly build that resilience inside you. So then make it organic. Suddenly somebody is writing 10 answers, you also want to write 10 answers. No, it's okay. Go slow. Lastly, when we say that you have to give everything, doesn't mean that you should not take break. Once in a week, half day, take break, go and so from so, watch so from so, and ನೋಡ್ದನಪ್ಪ ಮೂವಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ವಾಚ್ ಗುಡ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಒಳ್ಳೊಳ್ಳೆ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟ್ ದ ಆರ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೀಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಗೋ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಚ್ ಗುಡ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಚ್ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಂತ 3 days ಬುಕ್ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ ಇತ್ತು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ರೈಟ್ ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಎವರ್ ಸಚ್ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಬುಕ್ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ಸ್ ಲಿಟ್ರರಿ ಫೆಸ್ಟ್ಸ್ go and participate, go and buy some books, listen to some lectures, and Bangalore is a most happening place, right? You just open Pragavani, you see that events today. ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರಂಗಶಂಕರದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ನಾಟಕ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ವೀಕ್ ಗೋ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಂಗೇಜ್ ದೇರ್, ರಿಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆಂಬಿಷನ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಟು ಮೀಟ್ ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗುಡ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇವೆಂಚುಲಿ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಡಾಟ್ಸ್. ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅದು, ರೈಟ್? ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ವೆನ್ ಯು ಮೀಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ವೆನ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಟೈಮ್, ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಅಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ವೆನ್ ಯು ಡೂ ದಿ ರೈಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್, ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ನಾಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಐಸೋಲೇಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತೀನಿ, ಬನ್ನಿ ಆಫ್ಲೈನಿಗೆ ಅಂತಂದು, ರೈಟ್? ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ 100% ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಗೆಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ 1. ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಪಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಷ್ಟಿದೆ. ಐ ನೋ highest marks in essay, how it looks like, the essay, how you can write like that essay. We can guide you to write that essay. Similarly, all GS papers, we have excellent faculties. In prelims, we have specialists. They can guide you how to score 100+. CSAT, irrespective of which background. Now CSAT ಯಾಕೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ mainly because of the fear. So practice it every day. One problem ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, right? So don't wait for CSAT class. Again, success happens when you simultaneously learn, adapt, right? Make mistakes, learn, simultaneously do everything. What we do is that we wait for something to complete, get over, and then we have this in your mind. Then only I will start something else, right? Do we do that? We do, right? So we wait for something to get over, then to start something. ಹಂಗಿರಬಾರ್ದು. ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ವ, ಇವತ್ತೇ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ವೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಎಸ್ಸೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಟುಡೇ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಯು ಇವೆಂಚುಯಲಿ. ಸೊ ವಿಶ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಳನೇ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಐ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ನೋಡಿ ಈ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ನ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದು, ಈ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೇಷನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಹಳೇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಸಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಹಾನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೇಷನ್. ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಶುಗರ್ ಕೋಟ್, ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಆಲ್ ರೋಸಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್, ಬಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಬೆಟರ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ರು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ನೀವು 1-2 ತಿಂಗಳಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿ, ರೈಟ್. ದ ವೇ ಶಿ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್, ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಅವ್ರ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು, ಇಲ್ಲ ನಂಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ಮಾತಾಡು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಡ. ರೈಟ್. most of you actually feel that you don't have time to just discuss lengthily. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ರೈಟ್. ಪರಿಹಾರ ಹುಡ್ಕೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. they will start finding solution to the problem. ರೈಟ್. you will start thinking out of the box. ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿವ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. ಎಂಪತಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹ್ಯೂಮಿಲಿಟಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಹಂಬಲ್ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿರೋದು, ಅಷ್ಟಿಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ. ರೈಟ್. ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಏಟ್ ತಿಂದು ಉಳಿಪೇಟ್ ತಿಂದು ಸಮೋವಿಯ ಕಮ್ಮಿಯ. ಈ ಹ್ಯೂಮಿಲಿಟಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ರು ಅರೋಗೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನಾನು IIT NIT ಆ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಈ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಅಂತ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಈಕ್ವಲೈಸರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲೈಸರ್. ರೈಟ್. ಫ್ರಮ್ ಟುಡೇ ಆನ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಡೂ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್. ಹೂ ಯು ವರ್, ವೇರ್ ಯು ಕಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್, ಆ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಮೊಲ ಮತ್ತು ಆಮೆ ರೇಸ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಹಂಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಇದು. ರೈಟ್. ಸ್ಲೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಗಿ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿರೋದನ್ನ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ರಿಪೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಕಲ್ತಿರೋದನ್ನ, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಲರ್ನ್ ಟುಡೇ, ಲರ್ನ್ ಸೋ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಲಿ, ಲರ್ನ್ ಸೋ ವೆಲ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್. ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ಡೀಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಆ ಥರ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸಸ್ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ರೈಟ್. So wish you all the best, and once again welcome to InsightsIAS. I hope we get lots of ranks from this match, and we do have some toppers here, IPS probationers. They are also mentors here. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಸೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಫ್ಯೂ ಮೋರ್ ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್. ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಅದನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬಿಡೋದು, ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬಿಡೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಈ ಸೆಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಇದು. ಆಯ್ತು. ಕಿಟ್ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಚಾಕ್ಲೇಟ್ ಇದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನ್ ಅಟ್ InsightsIAS, ವೆಲ್ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ಅವರ್ OGP ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್. ಮುಂಚೆ ಕ್ಯಾಡ್ಬರಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ, ಕಿಟ್ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಕಡಿಮೆ ರೇಟ್ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಕಿಟ್ಕ್ಯಾಟಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿಟ್ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಏನು ಹಿಂದೆ ಕಿಟ್ಕ್ಯಾಟಿಂದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? So KitKat UPSC connection refers to the observation that UPSC has frequently asked questions in preliminary exams that are related to locations mentioned in KitKat chocolate wrappers. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳು ನೋಡಿ. 10+ questions in UPSC from KitKat. Proof.
हेलो स्मार्ट एस्पिरेंट, तो आप लोग थंबनेल देख के समझ ही गए होंगे कि 10 से ज्यादा क्वेश्चन जो है वो आपको केवल क्रिकेट से ही देखने को मिले हैं। और ये केवल मैं मजाक नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं पूरा प्रूव करके भी दिखाऊंगा कि यहाँ से क्वेश्चन
ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ. ಆಲ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಹಂಗಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಜೋಕ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಕೋ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆನ್ಸ್. ಆ ಕಿಟ್ಕ್ಯಾಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರೋದು ನೀವು 6, 7, 8ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ. ಅದು ಬೈ ಕೋ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಭಾಳ ಸೂಪರ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟ್ UPSC ಟೀಚರ್ಸು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕಿಟ್ಕ್ಯಾಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, UPSC ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಕಿಟ್ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ತಿಂದರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ. ಹಂಗಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಇಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ದಟ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್. ರೈಟ್. ಒಂದು ಹನಿ ಬಿ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಕ್ವಶನ್, 4th NCERT-ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಕಿ, ಬುಕ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಕಿ. ಯಾರಾದರೂ NCERT ಇದನ್ನ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹನಿ ಬಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಬಿನ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಶೋಸ್. ರೈಟ್. ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಹನಿ ಬಿ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ನ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿ ಬಂದರು UPSC ಹುಡುಗರು. ಹನಿಬು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ, ಯಾಕೆ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ? ಈ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ನಿಮಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಹುಡುಕಿ ವೈ ಡು ದೇ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಹನಿಬಿ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಹನಿಬೀಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಓದ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ. ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್. ನೀವು ನೋಡಿ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ನಾನು ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದ ಬಡ್ಕೊಂತಿರೋದೇನೆಂದರೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದೇನೆಂದರೆ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯೂರಿಯಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.